I'd like to show you how I do my footwork for healing today. Healing for me is very much like dancing with my dog. It has particular rhythms, a style, footwork, and there are certain skills that must be executed in the healing patterns, such as slows, fast turns, about turns, halts, etc. All have to be incorporated into your healing pattern. So it becomes like a dance, and as such, I want to make it look as smooth and beautiful as possible. Footwork is mandatory. Proper footwork is mandatory. I'm going to show you some ways that I teach my students. It's not necessarily the only way, it's my way. And to that end, I'm going to use the white corners here to show you right turns and left turns. You need to practice your heel work without your dog so that it becomes like driving the car. You don't think about it. It's just automatic. It's like, getting in your car and going from point A to point B and never having to think about where your foot is, which way, you're turning, etc. You just do it. And you do it smoothly. So that's the way you want to have your footwork. So while you're teaching your dog to heel with its head, heel with its head upright, and with focused attention, you will be doing your footwork without a dog, so that when you finally do the turns and are doing real healing with your dog, you're not thinking about your footwork and stutter stepping and causing complications. Half steps. When I am starting my healing, I always take a half step so that my dog can be with me when he's getting up from the sit. I also take a half step out of each turn. So if I'm making a right turn, I will take a half step so that my dog can be with me. I want to optimize our performance as much as possible. Likewise, if I do my about turn, I'm going to take a half step out because he's on the outside of the turn and he necessarily has to go faster. I want to make it as easy as possible and make us look good. So I'm going to take that half step and then go into my normal stride. Okay, there are some ground rules I like to tell people when they're doing their footwork. One is to keep your shoulders over your hips, all right? You don't want to be heeling like this. You're going to be throwing your dog back into a lag. You want to keep your shoulders over your hips. Likewise, you want to keep your weight under your hips. You don't want to be single stride. This is a single stride. And it makes you wobbly. It makes you unstable. You don't want to be doing that, especially given that many of us are of an age where we're unstable anyway. So you want to optimize that and keep your weight under your hips. So that when you're making any turn, your weight is still under your hips. All right? You're not throwing your weight out and not having the stability or single tracking. Weight under hips, shoulders over hips. Okay, let me show you how I teach a halt. Now, like I said earlier, whether you stop on your right foot or left foot ultimately is not important, but initially, to get your mind trained, you want to do a single style repetitively. This is the way I show my students. We take that half step to start our healing. So it's heel. Okay, let me show you that again. So it's heel, one, up, sit. That's a rhythm. Heel, half step, one, up, sit. So I'm going halt, 1, 2, 3. So I bring, let me do it towards the camera. Heel, halt, break, 1, 2. Okay, let me do that again. Heel, 1, 2. Doing, by the way, with my left leg because my left leg is on the side and my dog's going to feel that movement. My dog is not looking at my feet. My dog is feeling my body movement. he's also hearing the judge, certainly. But so when, and I'm always thinking utility, so I do not necessarily say heel, but I'll say forward, up, sit, that's my halt. Very short, very tight, very quick. I don't take a lot of strides. The halt is not the easiest to conquer. Now remember, before I ever put this in with my heeling, I will have taught my dog the upsit. My dog will be heeling with his head up. So it's heel, 1, 2, halt, break, 1, 2. All right, there are 2 ways that I show people how to do the right turn, for example. And the left turn, by the way, will be a mirror image. But the right turn, I like to plant my right foot, bring my left foot around, spin on the ball of my right foot, and then half step out and go. Let me show you that again. This is the way I like to do it. It is a 90-degree turn, but the ring is rectangular and the corners are 90 degrees. Plant, spin, turn, go. Let me do it in slow motion. Plant, turn, spin, go. Now, naturally, once I'm doing that with momentum, I'm not going to have such a big spin. All right? Okay, left turn. The left turn would be a mirror image of the right turn. I would go, I would plant my left foot, bring my right foot around, spin on the ball of my foot, and step off. Okay? So it would look like this. My dog's, this is where my ins will come in with my dog because he will be getting his butt in and we will be going. And notice that I'm always keeping my shoulders over my hips and my weight under my hips. All right? Okay, left turn. Again, teach yourself in slow motion. When children are learning things, math, for example, and they're learning their sums, they learn it in slow motion. Once they understand it, then it can go rapidly. Don't be concerned that your dog is going to learn to do this in slow motion and won't be fast later. The fast will come. But he has to learn. In order to learn, it has to be done where there's control and he can understand the particulars. So, teach yourself in slow motion too, until you've got it down. And once you have it down, you can speed it up. All right? So once I have it down, I don't think about it. I just do it. Okay? Okay, for those that don't like the 90-degree turns, you can soften them. You can lead with the right foot, so it's softer. So I lead with my right foot for the right turn, bring this around and soften and take it out. So instead of making an angle turn, you're softening it. Okay? So if I'm going to the right, I'm going to soften it by leading with my right. That is going to tell my dog, because my left shoulder, which my dog is looking at, will start moving that way, and my dog will know to go to the right. Conversely, if I'm going to the left, I will lead with my left and round off the corner. It's a very simple thing to do. This is easier for most people, especially if you have not taught your dog to do a tuck. All right? Then you can soften the turn. Okay, about turns. Now, I do have a video online on about turns in and by themselves, but I want to incorporate it into this video as well. So about turn is I plant my right foot, I bring my left foot around. Now, it's very important that I have my feet under my hips, all right? I don't want it way out here. I'd be throwing my dog off, and I don't want it on my foot because I'd be I don't want to trip myself up here. So it's very close, straight under my hips again, all right? The weight under the hips. 1, 2, then I can do another T or I can do an L here. It depends, you know, on your own knee support, etc. condition. A T or an L, then a half step out, and then I go. So I'll do the whole thing in slow motion now. Plant, turn, turn, and up. Now, I'm going to do it on this line and show you that I stay on a line. I do not make a big U-turn. Okay, I'm looking at the line. That's very hard. Usually I'm looking at my dog and out to where I'm going. Okay, and let me not look and I'll be better. Yeah, that was easier. Looking at my feet, I'm tripping over them. Okay, so that's the about turn. It's done. In place. Optimize, half step out so that my dog can be with me the whole time, and then I can go back into a regular, normal pace.